Very, very misty here today. It's like pea soup outside. Never seen it this bad. Absolutely mad. So as it's pea soup outside, let's make some soup inside. So as it's a grey, miserable day, Dylan and I are going to make carrot and coriander soup for you. Yay, yummy! Ooh. So I've got my ingredients laid out here for you. As you can see, it's not something that you need a lot to make. We're making what I call carrot and double coriander soup. And you'll see why, because I use both the fresh coriander and ground coriander as well, just to give it a really, really nice flavour. So for this I've actually got organic carrots. I don't always buy organic carrots, but they do tend to be one of the vegetables that you can get organic that is actually affordable. This bag is 750 grams. This one's from Lidl. That was about 85 pence. And then, because I need a kilo, I've got a few leftover ones from the Tesco organic range. I actually got this one on offer, so I only paid 75 pence for that one instead of the usual 85. But it is affordable, as organic produce goes, to be fair. If you can't afford that, if it's not in your budget, then you can buy a kilo bag of carrots for about 49 pence in Lidl, or even 29 pence when they're on offer. So carrots, very much a staple of mine because they are very affordable. Now I've got some organic onions here. I'm only going to use one onion today because these have a lot of flavour, and I'm also putting it in my slow cooker, which holds a lot of the flavours in, so I'm only going to use one. If I wasn't using organic carrots and maybe not the slow cooker, I'd probably put 2 onions in to get a bit more flavour, but I won't need that today, so I'm only using one. And these were 65 pence from Lidl again, so that's quite an affordable organic option. Although there aren't many affordable organic options, these are the ones that I've found. This is just a little bag, 30-gram bag of coriander from Tesco, and then I have ground coriander in here. I buy this in a large bag for a couple of pounds from the specialist stores who supply the Indian restaurants locally. They're quite easy to find. And very, very good value. I never buy spices from supermarkets in those silly little bottles anymore, because that's just a huge rip-off. Next, we do have some chilli powder. I don't buy huge quantities of that because I don't use huge quantities. So I'm going to put a little bit of chilli powder in just to give it a bit of extra zing, because it is the winter and we do want to stay warm. You'll notice I'm not using any garlic in this recipe. I don't find it adds to the flavour. If anything, it can take away from the delicate carrot flavour, and I want to make sure it's the right balance of flavours. So no garlic in this one. Then I have a little bit of oil here, which I'm just going to use to fry the onions before I put them into the slow cooker. And you'll notice I've got my Himalayan pink salt and black pepper grinder just to season at the end. And I do have a couple of stock cubes here, which I'm going to make up into a pint of stock. So let's get going. So I've fried my onions off here, so they're looking nice and ready to go in. So I'm just going to add approximately 1 teaspoon of, well, it always ends up more than that with me because I really like spices, but the recipe will say below 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. That's probably more like a tablespoon. But hey ho, it'll taste good. Okay, and I'm going to add the chilli at this point as well, just to sizzle the spices. What is it, Dylan? Oh, I think Dylan wants some. I don't know if you can hear him meowing in the background there, going a bit mad. Dylan! What is it? What's the matter? You want some? I'm kind of busy here, Dylan. Busy? You can have some in a minute. So anyway, here we are with our onions and our ground coriander. I'm going to add a little bit of chilli into the mix now, just to sizzle the spices. It does help them to have a little bit of flavour. I'm going to add a little tiny bit of chilli powder because we don't want it to be too hot and spicy. So we'll just mix it in, mix the spices in with the oil, and then just cook them for about a minute. And then we're going to transfer that over to my slow cooker. So I've transferred my onions here with the spices on into the slow cooker. Now in the slow cooker already I have my kilo of carrots here, which I have peeled, topped and tailed, and chopped into little pieces. Now I'm mixing in the onion here as well. Next I'm going to add in my coriander, which I have just roughly chopped, and my 2 stock cubes, which I put into 1 pint of water. Now the reason I'm not using very much water is because we are using the slow cooker today. If you're doing this on the hob, which you can do, it's exactly the same method, but at this point you'd be putting it into a saucepan on the hob, and I would recommend to add probably another half pint of water, because you will lose some in the evaporation process when you're boiling the vegetables all together. But because we're going in a slow cooker, it's not going to lose a lot of liquid, so I'm only using 1 pint of water with my 2 stock cubes. So we're just going to mix those all in together, and then I'm going to put this on high, and then I'm going to walk away. Okay, so we've got all our ingredients in the slow cooker now. We've got our carrots, we've got the green coriander, we've got the stock in there too, and we also have our onions with the spices on them, so we've got 2 kinds of coriander in there. And now I'm just going to set this to high. I'm going to put the lid on, and then I'm going to leave that for about 3 or 4 hours until the carrots are nice and soft and tender. So this is a nice recipe you can do on a cold day if you're going out shopping. So just pop it together, then you can pop out shopping and it'll all be done when you get back, and then you can just blend it up and you've got your lunch or your dinner ready to go. Now again, if you were doing this on the hob, like I said, you'd be putting this into a big saucepan on the hob right now with a little bit of extra water, and you'd probably want to boil it for about 30 to 40 minutes, just simmer until the carrots are nice and soft and tender. So just going to leave that to cook, and then we'll come back to see what we got. So here we have our carrot soup ready to be all blended up. You see that's been in the slow cooker for a while now, and that's all gone nice and soft. So we can I'd normally use a hand blender for this, but my hand blender is unfortunately in storage, so I'm going to break all the rules and put this in my smoothie maker. Don't try that at home, kids. Use an appropriate blender for hot liquids. And here is the finished article, served with some crusty bread. It's very nice. If you want to be extra swanky, you can keep a little piece of coriander to put on top, make it look like you're in a restaurant. I'll put the recipe down below so that you can try it for yourself. Please leave me a comment and let me know how you get on if you try this recipe, or how you make it if you do it differently. And I will see you soon in another video.